Story begins on a stormy day inside the ancient castle. Countless corpses lay piled on the ground. Fresh blood was splattered all over the path. A young woman held a knife, still dripping with blood, as she stepped out and called, "Qi Fenage, you're still truly formidable." Nearby, a young man stood atop the pile of bodies, a sword in his hand. He was breathing heavily as he responded, "I managed to make it through the ruins of the ancient mechanical god, but that divine weapon has already taken the eye of judgment." Covered in wounds, he began coughing weakly. "Why did you betray me?" His voice turned bitter. "I am your brother Tianozu." Tianozu stared at the eye in his hand, then at Quen Feng, letting out a cold laugh. His expression was icy, filled with doubt. "Brother, Quen Feng, you're just my parents' adopted son. We don't even share the same blood. How dare you call yourself my brother?" At that moment, another young man appeared behind her, smiling as he spoke. "Xiao Su, you shouldn't say such things." Recognizing the familiar voice, Xiao Su quickly turned around in excitement. Sanfei smiled in satisfaction before adding, "Well, your brother hasn't been entirely useless after all." Xiao Su ran happily towards Sanfei, handing him Quen Fengji's eye. With one arm around Xiao Su, Sanfei played with Quen Fengji's eye in the other hand, enjoying his trophy as he arrogantly said, "Quen Fengji, I really should thank you. Thanks to you and Xiao Su, we obtained this divine weapon, a relic capable of instantly extracting the lifespan of any being." He chuckled. "It took me a lot of effort to insert the soul piercer blade into your body. Tell me, do you like my parting gift?" Blood continued to flow endlessly from Quen Fenen's face. Clenching his teeth in rage, he spoke each word in pain. "Tianosu, I raised you in our parents' name. I paid for your education and risked my life countless times for you. I sacrificed everything, but now I see I made a terrible mistake." Tianosu listened to those words without showing the slightest emotion and coldly responded, "After our parents died, you always tried to control my life, interfering in everything I did. When Sanfei and I needed protection, you were somewhat useful, but now that the divine relic is in our hands, you have no value left." The moment he finished speaking, Sanfei without mercy swung his sword and lunged. "I'll take good care of Xiao Su for you." The Quen Fengji's trembling hand tightened around his sword. Using the last of his strength, he raised his weapon and roared in fury, "Even if I die, I will never forgive you." Before he could say another word, Sanfei's sword struck, decapitating him in a single slash. The Divine Judgment. Time moved forward, and in the year 2025, a game called Divine Judgment appeared. Anyone who fell asleep was dragged into its world. The only currency in the game was life itself. If you died, you lost years of your lifespan. If you killed monsters, you could gain additional years. Additionally, players could sacrifice part of their longevity to bring abilities from the game into the real world. In this new world order, a true warrior could tear apart a tank with their bare hands, slice an airplane in half with a single strike, or even withstand a nuclear explosion with their body. What once was only a dream had now become reality. From then on, the world changed drastically, and chaos spread. I managed to survive alongside my sister, overcoming countless hardships, until I became one of the 100 strongest warriors in the world. After endless battles and dangers, I finally made it through the ruins of the ancient city and obtained the divine relic, the Eye of Judgment. At last, I had the power to climb to the top. But I never imagined I would be betrayed by the one person I had trusted my entire life. Everything I had sacrificed, everything I had lost, had only served for the benefit of others. I refused to accept this. If there were a chance to return to lifey this time, I would live only for myself. Everything felt like a dream. Quen Feng awoke in a new body. He opened his eyes and looked around in surprise. "Where am I? Is this the real world?" He hurried to grab the phone next to him, and as he touched his neck, a chill of disbelief ran through him. Wasn't he supposed to be dead? 25, I've gone back in time. He had returned to a year before the launch of Divine Judgment. Just then, the door was kicked open, and Tianosu stormed in, furious. "I knew you were home, Quen Feng. Why the hell aren't you answering my calls?" She barged into the room, destroying everything in her path while cursing him. "Weren't you supposed to support me at Sanfei's event? Are you trying to disappear from my life? Do you have any idea how important this is to me?" Sanfei is facing a crisis. Those bastards from Donu and his group are starting to invade his territory. I had to be there for him, but those obsessive fans and that wretched Rongso, they're disgusting, clinging to him like parasites. And while he's in crisis, you're here, stopping me from helping him, taking my money and blocking my progress in the rankings. You've made me look like a loser. You need to take responsibility for this. Ignoring her hysterical screams, Quen fell into deep thought, recalling what had happened in his previous life. As he had predicted on the launch day of Divine Judgment, he and Tianosu had a huge fight because of Sanfei. Before the game was released, Sanfei had been an underground idol with a certain level of popularity. Tianosu was one of his most obsessed fans. However, behind his dazzling facade, Sanfei was actually a scumbag who deceived and manipulated his female followers, scamming them out of their money and even taking advantage of them physically. To protect Tianosu from falling into his traps, Quen Feng had never let her get too close to him. But in the end, he was accused of interfering in her life. Seeing that Quen Feng remained silent, Tianosu stepped even closer, pointing a finger at him and shouting, "Are you dead or what? I'm talking to you. Now you're pretending to be deaf. Because of you, he dropped in this month's rankings. If you don't give me money right now, I..." Before Tianosu could finish her sentence, Quen Feng didn't hesitate for even a second. He slapped her so hard that she fell to the floor, unable to react. Dazed with her face burning, Tianosu trembled in fear as she clutched her cheek. You dared to hit me." Quen Feng looked at her coldly and responded in a severe tone, "Tianosu, I don't have the time or patience to waste on you today. But if you dare provoke me again, I'll break your mouth with another slap. With that, he pulled out a bank card and tossed it at her feet. This is the money our parents left us. No matter how hard life was, I never touched a single coin of it. But today, I'm giving it all to you. Without saying another word, he turned and walked toward his room. Before entering, he paused, glancing at her one last time with utter contempt. Out of respect for our parents, I won't lower myself to arguing with you, but listen carefully. From this moment on, Fenji no longer has a sister like you. With those words, he slammed the door shut, leaving Tianosu sitting on the floor, crying with tears streaming down her face. Inside his room, Fen took a sip of water. His eyes reflected an unshakable determination. In my past life, I sacrificed too many opportunities just to protect Tianosu. There were countless dungeons and hidden treasures that required great risks, but I let them pass. He took a few vision-enhancing pills and swallowed them in one gulp. I wonder, without that burden, how far can I go this time? I'll use all the knowledge I have from my previous life about divine judgment and surpass everyone. Tianosu, survive on your own. His eyes gleamed with a murderous light. And as for Sunfei, I'll kill you myself. A moment later, Qing found himself inside a grand hall with multiple doors, each leading to a different profession. As he took in his surroundings, a familiar sensation washed over him, filling him with nostalgia. The class selection hall, what memories. The first time I came here, I panicked and took hours to choose my profession before I could leave, but this time I must be faster. In his past life, he had chosen the warrior class to protect Tianosu. Even though warriors weren't weak, in his current situation, that profession no longer suited him. Tianfeng felt that his speed to advance would be much greater. Mobility was the most important thing. He made a firm decision. He would choose the profession of assassin. Without hesitation, he extended his hand toward the assassin's door. At that moment, a notification appeared in his vision. The Eye of Judgment has been successfully linked. The Eye of Judgment has activated its unique attribute of Power of Judgment, a passive skill. Upon entering Divine Judgment, you will automatically receive the highest level profession and talent. Reading the notification, Tianfeng exclaimed in astonishment. The Eye of Judgment. Everything made sense now. Divine relics, once they recognize an owner, could neither be stolen nor used by anyone else, even if forcibly taken from their body. Perhaps the reason he had returned to life was because of its power. As he continued to process what it meant to have the Eye of Judgment, a dense black mist emerged from nowhere and passed through his body. Little by little, the dark mist completely enveloped him. The notifications kept appearing. Congratulations, you have unlocked a hidden profession. Class transfer in progress, transfer complete. You are now Eat the Shadow. When the mist dissipated, Tianfeng emerged with a new appearance. His hair had turned silver and his body was surrounded by a dark and terrifying aura. He looked at his hands and the black energy around him, unable to hide his surprise. The Shadow. So this is the most powerful hidden profession of the assassins. It was a completely different sensation from his past life as a warrior. He had just received a new profession, yet the power flowing through his body was overwhelming. Normally, the chances of obtaining a high-level hidden profession when choosing a class were extremely low. However, the Power of Judgment had ensured an absolute probability. This power, it can truly transcend the rules and order itself. Before he could fully grasp what was happening, his body began to emit a golden glow, completely enveloping him. More notifications followed. Power of Judgment activated. Primal Power, the oldest and truest force in the universe. This power dominates over rules and order. You currently lack divinity and cannot activate it manually. Temporary passive effect activated. In an instant, Tianfeng had successfully unlocked a hidden profession. Sitting atop a statue, he gazed at the moon on the horizon, lost in thought. In my past life, it wasn't until the 7th year of Divine Judgment that a warrior managed to escape the land abandoned by the gods and enter the land of order. Only then did humanity discover the existence of the power of order. But despite the years that followed, no one had ever fully obtained that power. And here I am. I only just begun, and I already possess a power capable of surpassing both rules and order itself. If he managed to escape the land abandoned by the gods and reach the land of order, he would obtain divinity, unlocking the full potential of his power of judgment. It seems that in this life, I already have a new goal. Just then, the system's voice echoed in his mind, interrupting his thoughts. Profession selection complete. Please enter your in-game name. Tianfeng was slightly surprised. After a moment of reflection, he raised his hand and touched the system interface. If my profession was born from darkness, then I shall be called the Shadow. The system immediately responded. Your name has been registered as the Shadow. Wasting no more time, Tianfeng advanced rapidly toward the land abandoned by the gods. The system immediately displayed a new notification. This is a desolate territory where countless demonic creatures roam uncontrollably. Please be cautious. They can tear you apart and take your life at any moment. Upon leaving Caracola Town and Monster Slayer, you will receive additional years of life expectancy, which can be exchanged. However, if you die in the game, you will lose half of your total life expectancy, including both the exchangeable and non-exchangeable portions. In an instant, Fenji arrived at Caracola Town, a safe zone within the territory. Around him, a murmur of voices filled the air as players tried to make sense of what was happening. Where are we? What is this profession? What does this codename mean? I had just finished my night shift at work, laid down in bed, and suddenly ended up here. Is this all hallucination? I have no idea. I was playing Battle Royale all night, fell asleep, and suddenly woke up here. Damn it, this hurts too much. This isn't a dream. It looks like we've been dragged into some kind of game. Q and Fenji remained silent, listening to the conversations around him. So, there are already many people trapped in this game. It won't be long before warriors from all over the world emerge, trying to restructure the global order. If I want to get ahead of them, I have to move faster. Time waits for no one. Q and Fenji's presence quickly caught the attention of the players around him. Many looked at him with curiosity. What profession is that? Why does he look different from us? I don't know, but look at the daggers in his hands. He's probably an assassin. But I'm an assassin too. Why do I look as cool as him? Look, he even has special effects around his body. As Q and Fen walked through the city, a group of players suddenly blocked his path. Murmurs and complaints echoed among them. It hurts too much, so if you die, you just respawn in the city. Those monsters are too fierce. One bite took away half of my health bar. How are we supposed to defeat them? It was just a damn low-level crypt monster, but even attacking it together, the 5 of us only managed to take down a third of its health. I've already lost half of my life expectancy. One of the group members looked at the girl sitting on the ground and asked, Luz, what do we do now? The young woman held her head in frustration. My head hurts. From a distance, Q and Fen jibs her in silence, noticing something unusual. An archer's starting weapon was usually a short bow, but she was using a longbow. It was likely she had a hidden profession. Noticing Q and Fen staring at her, the girl quickly stood up and spoke to him. Hey brother, it looks like you have a hidden profession. Would you like to join our team? The monsters outside the city are too strong. One person alone can't face them. We've already been wiped out once, so we have experience. Upon hearing that, Q and Fenji couldn't help but laugh internally. Experience in dying. Without a second thought, he coldly rejected the offer. Not interested. Then he turned around and continued on his way. 2 members of the group watched him leave and couldn't help but mock him. What, is he going to act like some kind of expert? There were 5 of us, and we still couldn't defeat a single monster. Does he really think he can do it alone? He has a hidden profession, and on top of that, he's an assassin. If he can't defeat them, at least he can run away. Ha! I'm dying of laughter. I already told him it's extremely dangerous out there, but he still plans to go alone. He wants to die. Meanwhile, the girl accessed the system to search for information about him. After a few seconds, she exclaimed in surprise. His name is Shadow. Watching his back as he walked away, she clicked her tongue in annoyance. T-esque, another one who thinks he's superior to everyone else. She then turned to her group and gave instructions. Let's follow him. I want to see what skills he has. Maybe we can gather some new information about those monsters. It'll be interesting to see how he dies. As Q and Fengi walked slowly through the city, Leslie followed him closely, observing him attentively. The land forsaken by the gods was a strange and dangerous place. He still didn't understand why he had ended up in this world. Thanks to his years of experience in online games, he had quickly managed to form a small team. Thinking about the terrifying creature that had defeated them before, he trembled slightly. I never imagined that the first monster in the Novus village could annihilate us so easily. That wasn't an enemy a level 1 player could defeat. Around him, his team members murmured among themselves. His starting weapon is different from ours. You have daggers, but he uses a short sword. And not only that, he's much faster than me. Assassins are supposed to have the highest agility. Also, his clothes don't look like ours. Light kept her eyes fixed on Q and Fen, deep in thought. That player at the shadow is different. If we follow him, we might get some valuable information. Suddenly, Q and Fudge felt a strange presence behind him and quickly turned his head. His sharp gaze locked on Olay's group, and she, startled, hurried to hide behind a tree. He noticed us. Before they could react, a dark aura enveloped Q and Fenji's body. In the blink of an eye, he vanished in a swirl of black smoke, merging with the mysterious blue glow of the surroundings. The players were stunned. Where is he? He disappeared. Is that a stealth skill? How can his starting ability be invisibility? What kind of profession is this? It's incredible. Lay clicked her tongue in frustration and turned to her team. Forget it. Let's go back to the city and find a way to level up. It's too dangerous out here. We've already died once, and our lifespan has been cut in half. One of the players hesitated. That's true, but maybe there's a hidden quest to treasure, or we could find an important NPC. Without further discussion, the group decided to return, abandoning the chase. They didn't realize that Q-An Fenenji's blurred silhouette was watching them closely. He checked his system information. Stealth. Entering stealth mode grants invisibility. You will only become visible if you take damage. Upon exiting stealth mode, your first attack will deal increased damage. Stealth mastery doubles the duration of invisibility and increases its level by 1. Q and Fedge was surprised. They can't see me. This shadow profession really is special. At this level, ordinary assassins could still be detected with relative ease. However, the shadow profession had the stealth mastery ability, granting absolute invisibility. Neither players nor monsters could sense his presence at this early stage. He glanced indifferently at the group of players. A bunch of knave fools. There's nothing useful in the city to improve one's power. That place is nothing more than a temporary refuge for players, but in divine judgment, weak players would always end up as prey for the demonic creatures. As his body started to become visible again, he murmured, "Invisibility has ended." The duration wasn't very long, but fortunately the cooldown started the moment the ability was activated. In just a few seconds, he could turn invisible again. The system updated his status. Name the shadow. Profession shadow. Lemma. Non-tradable lifespan 75. tradable lifespans a year, strength 10, constitution tempo 3, agility 10, spirit 10. Analyzing his stats, Qinfeng reflected, every player starts with base stats of 10 points. Each profession grants different bonuses based on this. In my past life, when I chose the warrior profession, I only received bonuses to strength and constitution, plea 3 each. But now, with the shadow profession, all my attributes have improved and agility has increased by a whopping Paul 8. Then, he noticed something unexpected in the system. Unassigned attribute points 5. Surprise, he exclaimed, I still have 5 extra points to allocate. Most players initially invested in strength or spirit to enhance physical or magical damage, but that was a mistake. Thanks to the experience from his past life, he didn't hesitate for a second and allocated all his points to agility. Looking at the system notification, Tianfeng confirmed that all his attribute points had been assigned to agility. He nodded in satisfaction. Agility is the most important thing. No matter how the points are distributed at the beginning, the damage from any demonic creature is always little to players. The only way to survive is to increase agility and speed to kill monsters without taking damage. Suddenly, a strange crunching sound caught his attention. Behind a tree, a dark silhouette moved. The creature was absorbing a mysterious blue light. The system displayed a notification. Crypt, level 1 common grade, evolving in progress. Tianfeng immediately understood. So this is the crypt that wiped out that group of 4 players. He examined its body and noticed multiple wounds. It seems they had already weakened it significantly before dying. In an instant, Tianfeng leaped agilely, dodging its attack. According to his memories, when a monster killed a player, it absorbed their life expectancy and could evolve through this process. The creature extended its limbs, its body began to levitate, and a dark blue light surrounded its eyes. The monster locked its murderous gaze onto Tianfeng, sensing the threat. But before it could react, Tianfeng launched himself from above, his short sword flashing with a deadly gleam. Hidden strike, lightning assassination. The blade descended at lightning speed, cutting directly through the creature's neck. You have inflicted 174 damage. You have eliminated a level 1 crypt. You have received 10 experience points. Tianfeng was surprised. A lethal strike in a single attack. Although attacking a crypt's neck guaranteed a critical hit, the damage was too high. Another system notification appeared. Backstab, if you attack an enemy outside their field of vision, damage is double. So that's why. In addition to the critical hit, both Backstab and his class abilities had activated simultaneously, pushing the damage to absurd levels. He remained silent for a moment, remembering his past life. He recalled how at that moment, he had held Tianu tightly in his arms as she trembled in terror. Back then, a warrior's critical hit only dealt 40 damage, and even then, it took a long time to defeat a crit. On top of that, he always ended up injured. Memory slowly resurfaced. At that time, the two siblings had been both excited and nervous as they held the sphere of light in their hands. The luminous sphere floated above their palms, radiating a warm glow. Tianfeng extended his hand and clenched it tightly. The system immediately displayed a notification. You have obtained 0.3 days of transferable life expectancy. You have obtained 55 days of non-transferable life expectancy. He looked at the system notification and began to calculate. If these 5 players were killed, each must have lost at least 20 to 30 years of life expectancy. That means the crypt absorbed over 100 years in total. But after the life expectancy was transferred to me, I only received 54 years. Well, non-transferable life expectancy doesn't have an immediate use anyway. The system issued another notification. The power of judgment has been activated. Congratulations, you have obtained the talent Infinite Evolution. Tianfeng's eyes widened in astonishment. Infinite Evolution, a primordial level talent. When you defeat monsters in solo mode, you have a chance to receive evolution points, which can be used to improve skills. Another notification appeared. Every 24 hours, you will automatically receive 5 evolution points. If you defeat a boss in solo mode, you will always receive additional points. Current points 5. Tianfeng muttered in surprise. I can evolve skills. In his past life, he had never heard of anything like this. Normally, both equipment and skills obtained from monsters remain at the same level and never changed. So this is the power that transcends all rules and order. Without hesitation, he opened the system and selected his first upgrades. Alright, let's test this. He chose to upgrade Stealth and Backstab. The system immediately responded, you have spent 4 evolution points. Skill evolution completed. Original skill Stealth and normal level. Allows entry invisibility mode for 12 to 16 seconds. Attacking while hidden will reveal your presence. Upon exiting invisibility, the first pulls 60% to 90% additional damage. Cooldown 20 to 26 seconds. Original skill Backstab is normal level. Passive effect, if you attack an enemy from behind, damage increases by 10% to 15%. Tianfeng felt satisfied and commented, the stealth duration has increased to 16 seconds. When combined with stealth mastery, its duration doubles, reaching 32 seconds. No, my invisibility lasts long enough. If this skill keeps evolving, even a Crip in full blood fury could be killed in a single strike. Suddenly, a shout caught his attention. Look, that scrawny guy just killed a monster by himself. Told you this game was easy. Beside the speaker, a blonde-haired girl looked at him with admiration. Connie, you're amazing. With your strength, you could defeat at least 10 more people. The man called Cakesy laughed arrogantly. Haha, don't worry, I'll protect you. As long as I'm here, you have nothing to fear. Tianfeng ignored their conversation. Qianfen fixed his gaze on Key's surroundings with a confident smile. He turned to him and offered help. Friend, I see you're having trouble getting out on your own. Do you want me to take you with me? Without realizing it, 2 red eyes were watching him from above. Qianfenji immediately recognized the breeder and activated Still. The girl looked confused when she noticed his disappearance. Where did he go? The man took the opportunity to brag. He must have been scared when he saw my muscles. Both continued laughing when, suddenly a gigantic spider descended from the top of a tree. Key looked up and screamed in horror. What the hell is that? Within seconds, the two became its prey. The system displayed a notification. Breeder level 1 bronze rank. Around it, smaller spiders appeared. The system provided more information. Breeder spawn level 1 common grade. From a nearby position, QN Fetting observed the scene and evaluated the situation. The breeder is the boss of the novice village. It is around 600 HP, completely out of reach for normal players, not to mention that it commands an army of lesser spiders. At that moment, his eyes sharpened as he leaped toward the monster. Well, what better way to test my enhanced skills than with you? With a single strike of Hidden Strike Lightning Assassination, QI Fenji slashed the monster's head, making it roar in pain. Without giving it time to react, he delivered another horizontal slash to its abdomen. He quickly activated Stealth and vanished into the darkness. The wounded breeder roared furiously. The system displayed a notification. You have dealt 338 damage, attack directed at a weak point, but right after another notification appeared. You have received 9 damage. Cunifed shuddered. That was close if I didn't have enough agility. With just 120 HP, a single hit could have killed me instantly. But still my attack managed to deal over 300 damage. This is incredible. The monster, unable to locate him, grew even more furious and began destroying everything around it with its legs. A Cunifed hid behind a tree analyzing the situation. It lost its patience. High-level demonic creatures don't just attack mindlessly, it won't stand still waiting for me to strike. From his hiding spot, he watched the breeder begin striking the surroundings chaotically, trying to find him. Meanwhile, the smaller spiders were on high alert, making it dangerous to approach. Suddenly, the breeder started moving in his direction. QN Fedge grabbed a stone from the ground and threw it with all his strength. The rock cut through the air and embedded itself in the monster's abdomen. The system notified, you have dealt 299 damage, attack directed at a weak point. QNFG picked up another stone, confirming his theory. I thought. He leaned against the tree trunk, deep in thought. My greatest source of damage comes from stealth, enhanced attacks, and my advanced class skills. Even a stone, if it hits correctly, can deal significant damage. Briefly leaving his stealth, he launched another stone with deadly precision. I just need to wait for stealth's cooldown to finish. The projectile struck the same previous wound, reactivating the effects of Hidden Strike, a Lightning Assassination, and Backstab. The damage multiplied again, just as he had planned. The system displayed another notification. You have dealt 279 damage, attack directed at a weak point. A QN Fenji reactivated Stealth and hid behind a tree, considering his next move. Alright, I just need to wait for Stealth's cooldown to finish. He picked up another stone and prepared to throw it again, ready to attack as soon as his ability recharged. Suddenly, a system announcement echoed throughout the city. The ranking has been updated. Player, the Shadow, has defeated the bronze rank breeder and has become the first player to reach level 2. The level ranking in Seashell Town has been activated. All the players in the city looked up at the notification. What the hell? I've been killed twice in a row by a simple creature, and now? How is there already someone who has defeated a boss alone? If anyone knows this incredible guy, please introduce him. He really fought alone. It can't be. There's only one name on the leaderboard. A player sweating coldly exclaimed. That guy, the Shadow, is the one who left the city a while ago. I even read it. He was shocked and stammered. How could he reach level 2 so quickly? This doesn't make sense. And on top of that, he defeated a boss. We couldn't even kill a common monster, and he did it all alone. This must be a system error, right? Even Connie couldn't believe it. That giant spider was really taken down by someone, but the breeder was still after its offspring. Who the hell is the Shadow? The blonde-haired girl frowned, wondering, could it be that assassin with stealth skills we saw earlier? Meanwhile, QN Fenji received several system notifications. You have defeated the bronze rank breeder. You've gained 300 experience points. Congratulations, you have reached level 2. Congratulations, you've gained 2 evolution points. Congratulations, you've unlocked the ranking of the Caracola town. Congratulations, you've earned 1 point of prestige. This achievement has been announced throughout the city. Kunenju watched as the giant spider began to fade away and sighed in regret. If I had eliminated the offspring first, I would have gained more experience. It was an oversight on my part. The system showed a new notification. You've gained 46 days of exchangeable life expectancy. You've received the Greedy Hand skill book, bronze rank. You've received the Corrosive Cutter sword, bronze rank, attack 35, agility 28, level 1 required. You've earned 2 evolution points. Reading the description of the Greedy Hand skill book, Qian Fengi reflected, so it's a skill from the assassin class. The system continued with its explanation once learned. This skill gives a 20% chance of obtaining additional loot when defeating monsters. Level 1 required. Qian Fengi murmured in astonishment. Greedy Hand. I didn't expect a bronze rank boss to drop a legendary skill for assassins. If used correctly, this could significantly increase the amount of gear obtained in the future with a 20% chance. If I defeat powerful bosses, I could receive additional loot. He recalled something from his past life in my old guild, the God Hunters. There was a player who didn't have great combat skills, but thanks to this ability, he became one of the most sought-after people in the guild. Every time he went hunting, he always had personal bodyguards protecting him. Suddenly, Kunan Fenji's eyes shone with excitement. Wait a minute. If this skill has a 20% chance, but I combine it with my infinite evolution talent, doesn't that mean I could increase its success rate to unimaginable levels? I could get unlimited loot. Meanwhile, at school, the campus was filled with students walking back and forth. Tiano Su and her friend were heading back to class. The short-haired girl beside her asked with concern, Xiao Su, aren't you going to call your brother to apologize? Yesterday we sneaked out to support Faye. I'm sure your brother is really mad. Tiano Su frowned angrily and replied disdainfully, he didn't do anything wrong. Why should I apologize? If it weren't for him, we would have almost been late to Sun Fei's event. He should be the one apologizing. Her friend sighed, but he's always been really good to you. Sometimes I really envy you for having such a brother. Tiano sorted dismissively. Well, my rear, he's always meddling in my business. Besides, he's not even my real brother. Sun Fei is all I need. Suddenly, her friend asked curiously, by the way, so, what happened to your face? Tiano Su turned her gaze away and replied indifferently, nothing. I just fell. Before they could reach the classroom, an uneasy murmur spread around them. In front of their classroom, a large crowd had gathered. Her friend frowned in confusion. What's going on? Why are so many people gathered in front of our classroom? She pushed through the crowd to get a better view, and what she saw left her frozen. Sui, her classmate, was collapsed on his desk. His whole body appeared translucent. Her friend immediately panicked. What happened to Asue? Why does his body look like that? One of the nearby students responded nervously. I don't know. A moment ago, he said he was going to take a nap, and then he just started fading away like this. The crowd began to speak even louder. This isn't just happening to him. It's occurring all over the world. Experts believe that anyone who falls asleep enters a spectral state, but they still don't know the exact cause. Her friend pulled out her phone in concern. I need to call my parents and warn them. Xiao, why don't you call your brother and tell him to be careful too? But Tiano simply scoffed coldly. I'm not going to contact him first. If he dies, better for me. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Tianfeng stared intently at the red ring on his finger when a notification appeared before his eyes. Congratulations, Greedy Hand has successfully evolved. Greedy Hand, a bronze rank, a Greedy Hand, a gold rank. Assassin class skill using it on monster corpses increases loot gain from 20% to 70%. You have learned Greedy Hand Pull 2. He clenched his fists and a golden glow flashed in his hands, followed by another system notification. Greedy Hand Judgment completed successfully. You have obtained 2 evolution points. You have obtained 46 days of exchangeable lifespan. Tianfeng narrowed his eyes with a faint smile. It looks like the real hunt is just beginning. He let out a loud laugh. Not bad. My luck isn't bad at all. I've gotten 2 more evolution points. I need 3 points to upgrade Greedy Hand T3. Soon I'll reach a 100% chance of obtaining extra loot. He activated stealth and vanished into the darkness. As he did, he pondered, the governments of the world must have already discovered this phenomenon. More and more people are being dragged into this game. I need to accelerate my progress. Before anything else, he equipped his available items. The system displayed a notification, equipped corrosive cutter sword of bronze rank. Pulsey 38 agility, requirement level 1. His body merged with the shadows as he calculated his next move. It won't be long before people realize that the skills and items from this game can be used in real life. When that happens, the world will plunge into bloody chaos. To gain skills and equipment, 2 requirements must be met. Reach level 10. Have enough exchangeable lifespan. If I only hunt small monsters, it will take me too long to meet both conditions. I need to find stronger bosses. Suddenly, a strange sound echoed nearby. Hi! From his elevated position, Tianfeng observed the scene with interest. A worried voice shouted from below. On the ground, a red, color creature with a mouthful of sharp fangs roared menacingly. The system displayed its information. Wild Runner level 2 of bronze rank. Tianfeng grinned in amusement. Wild Runner, ha! Just when I felt like hunting, the perfect prey appears. But then, he noticed a young man fighting the creature with a shield. Something about him seemed familiar. Wait a second, that's Ju Men. He hadn't expected to find him here. So the legend is true. They say that when Vu entered the Divine Trial, he formed a team with 6 other players, all of them with hidden professions. Raised his shield and shouted, "Shield guard." Immediately his shield emitted a golden glow as he braced against the Wild Runner. Tianfeng recalled Wang Meng's hidden profession. Holy Guardian, he has double the base attributes compared to a regular warrior. On top of that, he possesses invincible skills, not an easy opponent to take down. At that moment, a red-haired girl lifted her staff, causing a golden vortex to swirl above her head before launching it at the monster. The system displayed. Tianfeng silently analyzed the situation. The hidden profession Arcane Magus has double the magic damage compared to common mages, plus it comes with the special skill Persistent Fireball. Meanwhile, a young archer was shooting arrows at the monster. His hidden class, Eagle-Eyed Sniper, had double the accuracy and damage compared to regular archers. He also possessed a special skill, Rapid Chain Shot. Beside him, another player held a magical book that glowed with a blue light. His hidden class was Celestial Priest, with twice the healing capacity of normal priests. From the very start of the battle, he had access to group healing skills. Fireballs and arrows flew one after another, but the Wild Runner managed to dodge them with ease. As its name suggested, its speed was overwhelming. Even Men's protective shield began to crack. Men groaned with difficulty. The archer grew worried. "We can't, this boss is too fast. Attacking it from a distance is almost impossible." One man quickly commanded, "Healer, heal me now. The rest of you keep attacking and chip away at its health bit by bit." Instantly, healing symbols appeared above his head, indicating that his health was being restored. From a dark corner, Qunfeng watched the scene with a mocking smile. Reducing its health little by little. Wang Men, you're too optimistic. He glanced at the shadowy forest surrounding them and reflected. This is a wild territory. If they prolong the battle too much, they'll only attract more demonic creatures. Just as he had predicted, 2 demonic creatures appeared behind W-Men. Kyun and Fenji recognized them immediately, level 2 common rank corrupts. Their bodies were covered in dark brown sludge, and they specialized in long-range attacks. A young swordsman lunged forward, shouting, "Boss, watch out." His sword extended and struck the monster with force. Kyun and Feg observed with interest. Well, looks like another hidden class I haven't seen before. The young man gripped his sword tightly and tried to pull it out of the monster's body, but he couldn't. The system displayed a damage value of 33 points. Its defense is pretty high, the young man muttered. Suddenly, the creature opened its mouth and spat out a gray, viscous liquid. The young swordsman, now covered in the sticky substance, fell to the ground. He cursed, "Damn it, I'm trapped. My speed has been reduced. This stinks." A red-haired girl, seeing him struggle, cursed angrily, "Damn creature." The monster raised one of its long claws and swung it toward her. She screamed in desperation, "Someone help me." From above, Kinfei moved slightly. In an instant, a blue flash streaked through the air. The monster's head rolled to the ground. The archer froze in shock. Ubimen's eyes widened in disbelief. Even the celestial priest was paralyzed, unable to believe what had just happened. The red-haired girl shouted in astonishment, "One strike, he just killed a corrupt with a single strike. Someone is helping us." The young swordsman, still covered in sludge, trembled in disbelief. Even killing a level 1 creep took us more than 10 seconds by surrounding it, but that level 2 corrupted was taken down in an instant. That doesn't make sense. As if to confirm his thoughts, another blue flash lit up the battlefield. Another head fell to the ground. The young swordsman swallowed hard. That was an execution. He turned to the red-haired girl and asked, "Daily, did you see who did it?" She shook her head. "I didn't see anything." Wang Men took the opportunity to shout, "Whoever you are, please help us. Don't lose focus, keep attacking." He stood up and looked at the monster in front of him before giving another order. Only the wild runner is left. Maintain the same attack rhythm. From the top of a nearby tree, Q and Fenge received a system notification. And you have eliminated 2 level 2 corrupts. You have gained 40 experience points. You have obtained 1 evolution point. You have acquired the skill book Poison Shuriken, a common rank. You have obtained 8 days of life expectancy, exchangeable. Reading the notification, Q and Fen thought, Poison Shuriken, a mid to long range attack skill that deals damage over time. Perfect. Without hesitation, he activated the option to evolve. The system responded immediately. You have improved Venomous Shuriken to Venomous Shuriken to Silver rank, Assassin class. Range of 40 meters on and deals 120% damage and induces poison status. Cooldown 5 seconds. Requirement level 2. Poison effect inflicts 50% additional damage per second for 5 seconds. Applies weakness but is not stackable. Meanwhile, the Wild Runner launched a direct attack at Wang Men. He quickly raised his shield and managed to block the impact. However, the monster's other leg caught him off guard, stabbing into his abdomen. His shield and weapon fell to the ground as his body was lifted into the air. Wang Meng screamed in pain. The archer panicked. The celestial healer desperately flipped through his grimoire. "I can't heal him. Regeneration isn't working." With blood filling his mouth, Wang Meng looked at his team and gave one final order. At that moment, a blue flash cut through the air at the speed of light. The projectile embedded itself directly into the monster's eye. The system displayed, damage inflicted A45 is a weak point hit. The celestial healer stood in shock. What was that? The boss just lost more than half of its HP in an instant. A green liquid oozed from the Wild Runner's head wound as the creature trembled violently. Still suspended in the air, Wang Meng was brutally slammed to the ground, gasping in pain. The Wild Runner, now in its death throes, let out a heart-wrenching roar. The system continued displaying notifications. Poison image to 324 applied 4 times. The creature collapsed face first onto the ground, dead. The system announced, your total damage output has exceeded 90%. The loot rewards belong to you. You have eliminated the bronze rank Wild Runner. You have gained 600 experience points. Congratulations, you have reached level 3. You have obtained 2 evolution points. You have attained 55 days of exchangeable life expectancy. Tianfeng was astonished. I didn't expect Venomous Shuriken's damage over time effect to trigger along with my passive ability. If I combine this with stealth, I'll be able to stay invisible while continuously throwing shurikens. In the early and mid-game, no monster will be able to match me. Meanwhile, Wang Meng stared at the fading corpse of the Wild Runner, a chill running down his spine. This is terrifying with that kind of damage. Is he even human? As the monster's body completely vanished, Wang Meng murmured. Even the loot light disappeared. Despite his pain, he struggled to his feet, trembling, and clasped his hands together in a respectful gesture. Brother, I don't know what kind of divinity you are, but thank you for saving my life. From the darkness, a cold voice responded, thanking me in the wilderness. You shouldn't trust others so easily. Wang Meng understood the message immediately and ordered his team to leave. Before departing, he bowed his head respectfully and said, I understand. Thank you for the advice, Grandmaster. I won't interfere with your loot. My name is Wang Mit. If you ever need help, come find me. Dale also shouted before leaving. Grandmaster, I'm Beilong Dale. Can I add you as a friend? One of his teammates quickly grabbed his arm and whispered urgently, Shut up and let's get out of here. Tianfeng gazed at the glowing sphere in his palm and thought, Wang Meng isn't a bad person. He might be someone I can trust in the future. Plus, he's backed by the Daxia government, which means he has plenty of funding and resources. Exactly what I need. Distribution channel to sell the items I don't need. He raised his hand and activated Greedy Hand. The system displayed a series of notifications. Congratulations, you have obtained 3 evolution points. You have obtained 55 days of exchangeable life expectancy. You have obtained Lightning Speed Pants of Bronze rank. Equipped. Item Lightning Speed Pants of Bronze rank Assassin class. Physical Defense Applaw. Resistance to all and percent. Skill cooldown 50%. Requirement level 2. Tianfeng slowly walked away, smiling in satisfaction. This expedition wasn't bad at all. I still have plenty of gear and skill books from different professions. When my backpack is full, I will return to Caracola Village and exchange these items for interchangeable life hope. His eyes gleamed with a cold flash as he murmured in a threatening voice, "My growth speed is now 100 times faster than in my past life. Sanfi, I will come for you very soon." Meanwhile, the monsters continued their relentless attacks. Tianfeng from the side gathered energy and created a protective barrier to block the attack of a nearby creature. At the same time, Day's group was struggling, barely managing to defend themselves from each assault. One of Day's companions, who was wielding a sword, shouted in desperation, "We can't keep going like this. There are more and more monsters. We have to run." But while some hesitated, Meng noticed that several of his teammates had frozen in place. Why are you paralyzed?" He turned towards them, and upon seeing what stood before them, his mouth fell open in shock. "Abu, what the hell is that?" In front of the group, a gigantic creature had appeared. Its body was covered in eyes that spread across its entire skin, and through its perforated abdomen, oscillating organs could be seen. Without giving them time to react, the beast opened its stomach, releasing purple tentacles as spikes which shot toward the group. In an instant, they were all annihilated, forcing them to respawn at the starting point. 1W Meng returned. His expression was filled with rage and helplessness. Damn it! The monsters always appear in groups, and when they are about to die, they flee to bring reinforcements. Beside him, a young man with blonde hair exclaimed urgently, "We need to reach level 3 to get out of this place." "But how are we supposed to do that?" Another team member frowned and replied, "It looks like we need to gather more people. If 3 players aren't enough to form a solid team, then we should create a group of 6 or even 10 players. As soon as he finished speaking, another teammate immediately objected, "I don't think that will work. I saw a team of 10 people get wiped out by a group of monsters. If we gather too many people, we'll only attract more of them. Just a moment ago, there was a group of 40 players, and they ended up attracting that damn monster. It killed more than 30 of them with a single attack." Meanwhile, Day's group was also on the verge of collapse. Day, with her head lowered, murmured in frustration, "If we don't reach level 3, that means we'll be trapped here forever." One of her teammates paled with fear upon hearing that. "We all arrived here after falling asleep. In other words, we lost consciousness in the real world. If we don't get out of this game in time, our bodies will die of starvation." Furious, Day clenched her teeth and shouted, "Damn it, why is this game so insanely difficult?" Another team member, his face filled with anxiety, added in desperation, "Day, we've already died 3 times. Our remaining lifespan is now less than 10 years. Day closed her eyes in determination. "No matter what happens, we cannot die again." At that moment, the profession ranking appeared in the system. Shadow Assassin level 3, Meng level 1, Warrior Bilal level 1. Dai was surprised to see the names. That shadow guy, how did he level up so fast? He must have found a way to reach level 3 quickly, and if he knows how to do it, then he can help us escape this game. She immediately gave an order to one of her team members. This spread the word, "If Shadow helps us reach level 3, I'll pay him 10 million in cash." Her teammate was stunned. 10 million! Day clenched her fists with determination. "I don't think he can ignore an offer like that." Meanwhile, Tianfeng continued slaughtering monsters one after another. System notifications kept popping up. "You have eliminated a level 2 corrupt. You have gained 20 experience points. You have obtained 1 evolution point." Reading the notification, Tianfeng nodded in satisfaction. "I have accumulated enough evolution points." Without wasting time, he opened the interface and used his points to upgrade the Greedy Hand. The system displayed an announcement. "You have consumed 5 evolution points. Remaining point 0. Congratulations. The Greedy Hand has evolved into the Greedy Hand of Emerald Class Assassin. Ability applicable to monster corpses. Probability obtaining additional loot at 7%. The loot obtained has a 20% chance to level up." Seeing the energy glow emanating from his hand, Qian Fenji frowned with curiosity. "A 20% chance of the items leveling up. Is this an invincible skill? If I keep improving it, can I reach 100% or even 200%? As he reflected on this, a distant sound caught his attention. He looked down and saw a massive monster appear. The system showed its information, Curse level 2 bronze rank. Qian Fenji was surprised. "A cursed one. It seems like it has been consuming life force and is trying to evolve to silver rank. It must have wiped out the group of 40 players that were here earlier." He decided to mark the location on his map, but then sighed in frustration. "What a shame. My backpack is completely full. Even if I kill it, I won't be able to collect anything. The bosses need some time to respawn. First, I'll clear my inventory, then I'll come back and take it down." Scene change at Caracola Village. After Daly's group spread rumors throughout the village, the conversations between players were non-stop. "Hey, have you heard? Someone is offering 10 million for the Shadow Assassin to help them level up. Every time we die, our life force keeps decreasing. Has the government found a solution?" Not yet, but for players like us, the way out seems almost impossible. At that moment, QN Fenton returned to the village and appeared on the streets. Without wasting time, he sat in a corner and set up a sale announcement for equipment and skills. The message read, "Discount on equipment and skills for the next 10 minutes. Hurry and buy before it's gone." As soon as the announcement appeared, a crowd gathered around him. Players began whispering excitedly, "Oh my god, when did this guy appear? He really killed a bronze rank boss. Look, he's using bronze rank gear and still has 2 extra sets for sale. It's the Shadow Assassin, #1 ranked player. Why can't I see his face? He must have activated the disguise mode." In this game, a player's appearance is identical to their real-life look. What a mystery. Interaction with a mysterious buyer? At that moment, a masked woman approached QN Fenj. "How could I buy the Ice Dagger skill?" QN Fenj quickly glanced at her and replied, 100 days of life force. For a moment, he hesitated. If this woman must be Grey Rose, currently ranked number 10. She also activated disguise mode, just like me. When Grey Rose heard the price, she was taken aback. 100 days of life force, that's too much. Could it be cheaper? QN Fag responded coldly. The Ice Dagger skill can significantly increase the monster respawn rate in the early game. 100 days is already a very low price. Grey Rose frowned and proposed another option. Can I pay with real money? QN Fag looked up and responded without hesitation. If you have enough money, buy other players' life force first, then trade with me. If no one offers a better deal, I'll keep this price for you. The woman fell silent for a moment before speaking again. Please give me a moment. She turned and joined her group. What do you think? Her teammates asked. I have no objections. With the Ice Dagger, we can reach level 3 faster. What's important now is to exit the game as soon as possible. We've only come this far because of your leadership, so I trust your decision. After reaching a consensus, the woman ordered, "Alright, transfer all your exchangeable life force to me. When we return to the real world, I'll pay you in cash." She then returned to Kunin Fenji and said firmly, "Here are 100 days of life force. Let's make the deal." The system confirmed the transaction. You have sold the Ice Dagger skill. You have received 100 days of exchangeable life force. Your exchangeable life force has increased from 668 days to 368 days. Q and Fed silently observed her and thought, they clearly have more than 100 days of exchangeable life force. As soon as the woman acquired the skill, she left. Just then, Daly appeared in front of him, looking eager and excited. "Finally, I found you, Shadow. I have an offer if you help me reach level 3 when we return to the real world. I'll give you 10 million in cash." Nearby players were stunned. Someone is actually paying 10 million to find the Shadow. I thought it was just a rumor, but it's true, earning 10 million so easily. Meanwhile, Daly confidently introduced herself. "My father is the president of a big corporation. You can ask anyone. Don't worry, I can pay you." However, Q-Fen said nothing. He silently observed her. Something about her seemed familiar. So it's her. In my past life, she became the leader of a criminal organization. The government destroyed it afterward. He clearly remembered the official reports. She used cash to buy exchangeable life force, using those exchanges as bait to kidnap players and force them to work for her. Those who refused were simply eliminated, a despicable monster. After a moment of reflection, Q-Fen's voice rang coldly. "I reject your offer." Daly froze for a moment, unable to believe what she had just heard. After a few seconds, she regained her composure and insisted, "Shadow, even though you're strong in this game, no one knows what will happen in real life. If you join me, I'll give you everything: the best food, luxury cars, mansions, women, everything you want." Q-Fenji looked at her coldly, without the slightest interest, and replied, "If you're not going to buy anything, please step aside and don't interfere with my business." Hearing this, Daly gritted her teeth in rage. "How ridiculous! I offered you my protection because I thought you were worthy. But if we were in the real world, I would teach you a lesson right here." At that moment, Q-Fenji's eyes glowed with a threatening light. A dark energy began to emanate from his body. He stared directly at Daly and spoke in a chilling voice. "If you say one more word, your life force will be reduced to 0. The atmosphere became oppressive, and a terrifying black aura spread from Q-Fenji's body. Seeing this, Daly's group recoiled in fear. One of her teammates screamed in panic, "Run! Let's get out of here!" Without hesitation, they fled in a panic. Meanwhile, Q-Fenji quickly sold all his items. The system displayed the notifications. You have sold the Radiant Cloak, bronze rank. You've received 19 days of exchangeable life force. His exchangeable life force increased from 527 days to 546 days. After closing his shop, Q-Fenji stood up and walked away from the market. Alright, everything has been sold. It's time to deal with the cursed one. No one knew that exchangeable life force could be extracted. No one understood that this game, abandoned by the gods, would soon destroy the order of reality. The systems and structures the world once trusted would become insignificant. There would only be one absolute truth: personal power is the root of everything. On the other hand, the group, after running nonstop for a while, finally stopped at a corner of the road, panting from exhaustion. Furious, Daly shouted in rage, "That damn Shadow not only rejected my offer but also dared to threaten me. When I return to the real world, I swear I'll catch him and kill him." Just then, a voice came from an alley. A stranger approached them and smiled confidently. "Greetings, Miss Daly. My name is Mao Luan, but you can call me Old Mao. I am currently level 2 and know a few tricks to level up. If you want to level up quickly, I can help you. By the way, is your offer of 10 million still valid?" Still upset, she crossed her arms and scoffed disdainfully. "What tricks? Nonsense." Mao Letten smiled slyly and replied, I don't usually share this information with common people, but since it's for Miss Daily, I'll make an exception. If you really want to level up faster, you must invest all your initial points in agility. That way, when we run at full speed, we can be faster than them and avoid their attacks. Do you understand now? Hearing this, Daily's mouth dropped open in surprise. For a moment, her expression shifted from anger to restrained excitement. So that's how it is. This game is really played this way. DM, I already invested my 5 initial points in strength, she thought, shaking her head. Well, at least I have someone who actually knows how to play. After thinking for a moment, she looked at Malletin and proposed, "You're quite interesting. Fine, take me to level up, but since you're not as strong as the Shadow, I'll only give you 5 million if you get me to level 3. When we return to the real world, I'll make the transfer." Malletin, ecstatic, accepted immediately. No problem. That Shadow guy may be powerful, but it seems like his brain doesn't work properly, rejecting 10 million so easily. He must be an idiot. Meanwhile, Cunifang had returned to the boss area. Seeing the energy emanating from the creature, his expression turned serious. Just as I suspected, this boss has evolved to silver rank. A dense gray mist enveloped the body of the cursed creature, which continued to evolve. It was transitioning from silver rank to gold rank. To complete its evolution, it still needed about 7 or 8 hours. Kunin snorted impatiently. I don't have time to wait that long. Without hesitation, with a cold gaze, he launched the venomous fierce strike directly at the monster. The cursed creature was hit unexpectedly, unable to react. 60 and up. Seizing the opportunity, Qin Fenji activated Shadow Breaker's Supreme Strike, unleashing a series of sharp slashes against the creature. Even after receiving multiple cuts, the boss remained standing. Qin Fenji leaped into the air and analyzed the situation. Silver rank bosses have about 2 to 3 times more health than bronze rank ones. He then channeled his dark energy. A large amount of black mist and spectral energy began emanating from his body. Activating Shadow Stealth, he vanished from the boss's sight. A few seconds later, the poison from Venomous Fierce Strike began to take effect. The cursed creature howled in pain, its body twisting and convulsing. From a safe distance, Qin Fen watched calmly. I'll need at least 2 or 3 more venomous fierce strikes to finish it off. Suddenly, a massive explosion shook the area. A dense cloud of black smoke spread around. When the dust settled, the silhouette of the cursed creature appeared, still standing. Its body was pierced by multiple wounds, its posture unsteady. From afar, Qin Fenji assessed the situation. This boss is a dark mage type. Most of its abilities are area-affected attacks with extremely high damage. After launching Venomous Fierce Strike, I must retreat immediately, otherwise a single hit could kill me. Just as he was thinking about his next move, the cursed creature suddenly recovered. Its eyes shone with a chilling glow, and a dark energy sphere formed above its head as it furiously lunged at Cunifeng. The Cunifeng reacted immediately, retreating quickly. I must hold out until the cooldown for Shadow Stealth is over. Besides, the boss is already exhausted after so many attacks. When its breathing became more erratic, its movements slowed. Qin Fenji smirked confidently. Knows the time. In an instant, Qin Fenji appeared right in front of the cursed creature. Without giving it time to react, he activated Shadow Break Supreme Strike, unleashing a devastating blow to its head. The cursed creature trembled from the impact. Realizing it couldn't counterattack, the boss attempted to flee. From behind, Tianfeng watched with satisfaction. Now that its health is low, it tries to escape instead of entering Berserker mode. This saves me a lot of trouble. Before the cursed creature could get away, Tianfeng focused his energy into his arm. A powerful wave of dark energy shot directly at its back. In an instant, the boss collapsed to the ground, lifeless. The system displayed notifications. You have defeated the cursed one as silver rank. You have received 10,000 experience points. Congratulations, you have reached level 5. You have gained 4 evolution points. You have obtained 124 days of transferable life expectancy. Reading the notification, Tianfeng burst into laughter. 2 levels at once and 4 extra evolution points. Taking advantage of his rewards immediately, he upgraded his Greedy Hand skill. The system displayed a new notification. Greedy Hand has been successfully upgraded. You have gained 4 additional evolution points. You have obtained 124 more days of transferable life expectancy. You have obtained an additional 120 days of transferable life expectancy. Seeing the notifications, Tianfeng was stunned. I received double the additional rewards. He checked the numbers and smiled excitedly. This silver rank boss gave me 12 evolution points and 372 days of transferable life expectancy. Then the system displayed a new message. The special effect of Greedy Hand has been activated. One of your obtained items has been upgraded from silver rank to gold rank. Looking at the dropped items on the ground, Tianfeng was pleasantly surprised. This is a gold rank item, so that's how it works. Greedy Hand Emerald rank has a 20% chance of upgrading obtained items. I've gotten around 7 or 8 items from this hunt. However, his excitement soon faded. My inventory is almost full. I can't keep killing bosses and then returning to town every time to sell items. That would waste too much time. He sighed and looked toward the boss's corpse. I hope this cursed creature dropped a dimensional ring or something similar. I need more storage space. Just as Tianfeng finished speaking, a brilliant light emerged from the pile of items, taking him by surprise. Scene shade. Unlike previous times when she returned disappointed and frustrated, today Daisy shouted with joy. We finally made it back alive. The 2 members of her party smiled at her enthusiasm. One of them responded, "Good thing the great Chief Wang Meng was with us. Thanks to him, we reached level 3 and successfully returned to town." The other added, "This was a team effort." Still excited, Daisy exclaimed with gratitude, That's right. Brother Wang Meng is incredible." Then, she suddenly pretended to be embarrassed and said in a melancholic tone, "What a shame. I didn't have time to befriend the great chief. I bet it's because my clothes were all dirty and covered in mud. That's why he didn't want to talk to me. One of her teammates tried to comfort her. Maybe if you had worn your new armor, the great chief would have accepted your friend request. Ranking update. At that moment, the player rankings updated. Shadow Assassin level 5. One-Man Warrior level 3. Dallo Warrior level 3. Seeing the ranking, the players in town were stunned. The ranking updated again. Shadow already reached level C. He jumped from level 3 to level C in one go. What kind of boss did he fight to level up so fast? One player, still in shock, murmured, "Just 10 minutes ago, I saw him selling equipment. How did he gain 2 levels so quickly?" Another player excitedly commented, "My younger sister is 18 this year. I really hope the great Chief Shadow accepts her into his team. That way I can benefit and level up faster too." His friend laughed mockingly. "Ha! A billion wasn't enough to convince him, and you think he'd be interested in your sister." Meanwhile, Wang Meng sighed in frustration. "Damn, I barely reached level 3 and the great chief is already level 5. This is insane." Hearing their complaints, Wang Meng encouraged them. "Don't worry about that. The most important thing now is returning to the real world and warning our families and friends about this game. The world could fall into chaos, and the best thing we can do is prepare and protect our loved ones." Everyone nodded seriously. "You're right, let's log out for now." Shortly after, the group left the game and returned to reality. Reality, a dark room. In a dimly lit room, Wang Meng finally woke up exhausted. As soon as he opened his eyes, the excited voices of several people echoed around him. Look, Brother Wang has woken up. Quick, inform the captain. Brother Wang is awake." His teammates rushed to his bedside, concerned. One of them asked anxiously, "Brother Wang, what happened? Are you okay? You had us really worried. You have no idea how you looked just now. Your body started turning transparent. Please don't scare us like that again, Brother Wang." Another team member spoke with a trembling voice. "I told you just yesterday to get some rest. I said I'd handle watching the suspects." Still dazed, Wang Meng remained silent for a long time, his eyes vacant, filled with confusion. He was still processing what had happened when suddenly urgent shouts echoed through the base. "Quick, gather everyone immediately. Something serious has happened." The scene unfolds outside a police station. One person asks if the other had heard about a group of professionals with special skills who almost vanished off the map. But someone ultimately saved them. The camera now shifts to the police station's interior, where a spiky-haired officer is talking. He confirms the story, saying yes, the savior's nickname is Shadow. The officer explains that when Shadow rescued him, he was only at level 3, but by the time they reached level 3, Shadow was already at level 5, which shows he jumped 2 levels at once. Another officer, looking thoughtful, reacts to the information. He questions this 2-level jump, wondering if, being at level 5 now, Shadow wouldn't be the best player in the entire world. He ponders how he managed this feat, imagining if he had defeated a very powerful boss or something similar. The thoughtful officer continues the conversation. He raises the point that, from what was said, Shadow had already been at level 3 an hour ago, so why hasn't he returned to reality yet? He wonders if this could be because Shadow has no close relatives in the real world and doesn't need to notify any family. The spiky-haired officer replies that he doesn't know, that maybe Shadow really doesn't have family. At that moment, a short, dark-haired policewoman joins the conversation, asking if Shadow might be a transmigrator. She explains that transmigrators are usually orphans and get strong very quickly. The short-haired policewoman, smiling and pointing her finger, reinforces her theory. She asks, almost expecting an answer, if she hit the nail on the head by saying Shadow is a transmigrator, looking at the other officers to see what they think. The scene closes up on the short-haired policewoman's face. She maintains her smile and repeats the question, now in a more direct way and really expecting confirmation. "Am I right?" The short-haired policewoman, who we learn is named Anu, gets her ear playfully pulled by an older officer with a thin mustache and a serious face. He tells her to read fewer storybooks, scolding her for joking around in a serious situation like that. Anu, with slightly red cheeks, looks a little embarrassed by the reprimand. The focus returns to the older officer, who maintains his grave expression. He explains that the information Wang Meng passed on about the game, Godforsaken, was the same information they received from their superiors. The scene shows the officers from this side. The older officer continues speaking, revealing that new research shows some people die shortly after falling asleep in the game. The mustached officer turns slightly towards the other spiky-haired officer as he explains what this research means. He states that after gathering and comparing the data with the officers who returned from reality, they saw that these people had indeed died multiple times in the game. The mustached officer, with a worried expression, concludes that this means if someone's lifespan reaches 0 in the game, that person actually dies in real life. The spiky-haired officer, wide-eyed and mouth slightly open, reacts in shock to the information. He says, surprised that this is something totally out of the ordinary, that it is beyond their comprehension. The mustached officer agrees, stating that they are probably being invaded by superior beings they don't even know about. The mustached officer is sitting at the edge of the table, leading the meeting. A speech bubble shows that the superiors gave an urgent order to form exploration teams based in each region, enter the game Godforsaken, and share information. The scene reinforces the urgency of quickly assembling a large army of professionals. The scene zooms out, showing an image of Earth. To give an idea of the scale of the problem, it's a very important event that affects the whole world, and all nations are doing everything to explore the game Godforsaken. If they fall behind in this race, they will lose power in the world, so they have to get information at any cost. The camera focuses on Enyu, who is in profile paying attention. The mustached officer continues giving orders, saying that Enyu will be the captain of Team 1. Enyu responds with an energetic "Wes." The order continues, designating Wang Meng as vice captain and instructing both of them to choose their own teammates. The focus shifts to Wang Meng, who is also in profile with a serious and concentrated expression. He only responds with an "understood," showing that he understood and accepted the order. The mustached officer returns to being the center of attention. He explains that from what Wang Meng said, Shadow does not seem to be a bad person, implying that they can try to befriend him. He reveals that he chose Enyu to be captain because he thought her personality would be more suitable for investigating Shadow. The mustached officer says that he hopes Enyu and Wang Meng find out who Shadow really is as quickly as possible. He emphasizes that it would be great if they could start a partnership with Shadow as their representative and get all the information he has. The scene changes to show the city in the background with the orange sky of sunset. The mustached officer continues, saying that for the rest, the most important order now is to maintain order in society, asking if they understand. In response, a collective yes is heard. To finish, he ends the meeting with a dismissed. The scene is now outside where a group of uniformed girls are talking. One of them says that Zhang Wei said if everyone from the same district sleeps at the same time, they will appear in the same village at the start of the game. Another one, looking worried, says that this won't work because she needs to pick up her parents from home who have never played a game before, and she is afraid they won't get used to it. The other one, who was sitting, trying to reassure her, suggests that she shouldn't worry about it now, that they can level up alone first and then bring her parents into the game later. Meanwhile, the protagonist's sister is looking at her cell phone. Thoughtfully, she wonders how something so important happened and Qin Feng said nothing. She thinks a little resentful if he won't even apologize and calls him arrogant. A flashback begins. In an older scene when she was younger, she is angry. In the background, Qin Feng sees her throwing a glass on the floor, furious. She thinks that every time she got angry, he found a way to calm her down. She complains that this time, he not only didn't calm her down, but even hit her, something not even her parents did. She justifies herself, saying that the only thing she did was skip class to go see Brother Song Fei's show. Angrily, she scolds Qin Feng, saying that if he doesn't apologize this time, she will never forgive him. She murmurs with a tone of satisfaction that it's a good thing she went to see Brother Song Fei yesterday. She thinks that after the game, Godforsaken, starts, she doesn't think she will have many chances to do that again. The scene changes to a show. A blonde and charming man, dressed in a bright red suit, is on stage with his arms raised, surrounded by an excited crowd. The girl thinks she had never gotten so close to Brother Song Fei, who winked at her, and this had left her so emotional that she even cried. Still sitting holding her cell phone, she seems to have suddenly remembered something. The girl's face lights up, surprised, and her cheeks turn slightly pink. She thinks, realizing what this means. Since we enter the game sleeping, that means Brother Song Fei will definitely enter too. She covers her mouth with her hands, showing happiness and excitement with this idea she just had. Her thoughts race, and she says, if I enter the game, doesn't that mean I'll meet Brother Song Fei? The scene changes to show the girl from behind in her room. She is taking off her blouse, showing her bare back as she changes clothes, but her thoughts are already on something else. Zhang Wei leveled up to level 3 so fast. He must be very good at the game. The scene is now in a classroom full of people. A boy is sitting at his desk, surrounded by curious classmates, and receives a message. Expert Zhang Wei, do you have any tips to share? Smiling proudly while holding his cell phone, he is feeling on top of the world with all the classmates around him. He replies to Qun Xiao, full of himself, Hey Qun Xiao, who would have thought a goddess like you would come to ask me for tips? Thinking to himself, he boasts, seeing a golden opportunity there. This is the perfect chance if I can get together with Qun Xiao. The scene returns to Qun Xiao's room. She is sitting on her bed, already changed and more comfortable, totally focused on her cell phone. She is talking to Zhang Wei. His message on the screen says, Fa you asked the right person. I'll tell you a secret at the beginning of the game. Put all your attribute points into agility. Otherwise you won't be fast enough and you'll become monster food. Qin Xiao replies, a little insecure, even if I'm going to use magic, I put everything in agility. And Zhang Wei replies quickly, yes, agility isn't useless for those who use magic. It can increase the speed to cast spells. That's very important at the beginning. Qin Xiao is still worried and asks, but what if even putting everything in agility I can't win? Qun Xiao's face lights up with a confident and happy smile. Her cheeks turn a little red and she clenches her fist excitedly. Zhang Wei's message says, don't worry, show you. As soon as someone in the village reaches level 5, that unlocks the teleport portal in the village. We'll make a group and level up together, and when the portal opens, I'll find you and carry you to heaven. Qun Xiao is now lying in bed, covered with a comforter. She thinks, awesome, these jerks are actually good for something. I found someone to carry me. She thinks with determination and a bit of anger. Qin Feng, I'm gonna enter the game right now. You can keep thinking you're all that, but when you enter the game, you'll see that I'm already much stronger than you, and then I'm the one who won't carry you to level up. The scene changes to a dark and sinister forest. It is raining. Shadow is kneeling on the ground, surrounded by glowing spheres of light. A game item description window appears. Ring of Curse Gold can be used by any class. All attributes +8. Shadow elemental resistance +26. Weak point attack multiplier +0.1. Requires level 4 to use. Below the window, the hooded character thinks all attributes +8 is the same as 32 attribute points. He is holding a ring. The player continues analyzing the ring. He thinks this ring is like leveling up 3 times at once, and it even has shadow elemental resistance. This will be very good against many monsters. And sees that the weak point attack multiplier is 1.5 times at the beginning. With this ring, the weak point attack multiplier goes to 1.6 times. A system message appears announcing the skill Instant Shadow / Silver Assassin skill, dashes in a direction up to 15 meters and becomes invisible as for 5 seconds, dealing 3 hits to all enemies in the path, cooldown 10.43 seconds, requires level 4 to learn, slash width 2.1 meters, each slash deals 100 damage and always counts as a back attack, but does not damage weak points. At this moment, Shadow is enveloped in golden lights, showing that he has learned the skill. He thinks this area of effect attack skill is very strong, it teleports and even makes me invisible, and clicks on Learn Now. The character is still glowing in golden light. He thinks that he still has some evolution points and decides to upgrade the Greedy Hand skill first. A system message appears, confirming that he used 8 evolution points and still has 4 points left. A new system message pops up explaining the Greedy Hand skill that evolved from Jade to Diamond, an assassin skill. The description says that it can be used on monster corpses, and now has 220% chance of getting an extra item. The extra item has 40% chance of being 1 level higher. Shadow thinks that as he expected. Now killing monsters will give him 2 items, making killing 1 monster like killing 3. The player decides to use the evolution points he has left to upgrade the Instant Shadow / skill by 3 levels. A system message confirms that he used 3 evolution points, leaving only 1 point remaining. A system message shows the details of the Instant Shadow / that evolved from silver to gold and then to platinum, remaining an assassin's skill. The dash now goes up to 21 meters, invisibility lasts 7 seconds, and it now deals 5 hits to all enemies in the path. The cooldown remains 10.43 seconds. Shadow realizes that the cooldown time hasn't changed, finding it a bit annoying, but understands that only by using Instant Shadow / can he become directly invisible. Shadow is looking at the system. He thinks that the rest of the items he picked up are worthless, but the silver level warrior skill book Battle Roar might be sellable for some money. Suddenly he hears a loud noise. The scene changes and shows 3 monsters, Red and Spider, like descended out in the middle of the rainy forest. The character identifies the creatures as level 4 limb striders. He thinks that the time is perfect and that he will use these monsters to test the power of Instant Shadow / Shadow uses the Instant Shadow / skill, and blue energy rays cut through the red monsters. And the creatures are completely torn apart. A system message box appears on the screen. It says Yovikilem BS starter OV, Yogenanity XP, Yodu Spada BBL. It confirms that Shadow used the skill and killed a limb strider, gaining experience and lifespan. It confirms that Shadow used the skill and killed a limb strider, gaining experience and lifespan. The player is now standing and amidst the remains of the fight. He is surrounded by traces of purple energy and the pieces of the limb striders. He thinks killing monsters has gotten faster again. If I use poison dart, I only need 2 darts to kill a monster. He also notes the fight time has decreased, and this reduces the chance of trouble. He thinks about his situation and calculates. Now I have 618 days of treadable lifespan, but to bring my equipment and skills to reality, I need to use at least 2.5 years of treadable lifespan. To be exact, I need 900 days. Shadow decides what he will do next and thinks, I'll go back first and sell everything I have in my bag. Maybe I can get enough to have the minimum lifespan I need. And with a determined look, he thinks about the future. When I reach level 10, I will be able to bring skills and equipment from the game into real life. While Qianfeng was lost in his thoughts, suddenly a voice resonated from the distance. Congratulations, miss, for reaching level 3. It's time for you to fulfill your promise. It turned out to be Lisi and Mao Luan who had also arrived. Lisi, upon hearing Mao Luan's question, replied enthusiastically, Don't worry, the High-End Corporation never runs short. Let's get back to reality. Here's my phone number. You can contact me directly. Oh, by the way, sell me all your exchangeable life years. I'll pay you 10,000 for each day. Mao Leighton, upon hearing the offer, smiled in satisfaction and responded joyfully, no problem. Haha, as I said, Shadow is a blind idiot. Even a businesswoman like you doesn't hold him in high regard. After closing the deal, Lisi immediately left. See you in reality. Mao Leighton stayed behind with a crafty look and a sly smile. In his mind, he mocked, so what if this game actually affects life expectancy? Life years can be gained anytime. Only those who know how to turn their skills in the game into money, like me, are the truly smart ones. Meanwhile, Qianfeng also quickly returned to the village. He walked alone toward the tower, feeling a powerful presence ahead of him. He couldn't help but be surprised and thought, so this is how the instant teleportation in the newbie village has been activated. The notification immediately echoed, "Congratulations, you have activated instant teleportation in the newbie village. You've earned a reputation point. Now you can use 1 free teleportation per day. Additional teleportations will consume exchangeable life years." No other teleportation has been activated in the city of Haiyan. After reading the notification, Qn Fenji became thoughtful. The instant teleportation in the starting village only allows travel in 2 directions. Activating it on one side is useless until someone on the other end also reaches the 10 level and turns it on. She remembered that in her past life, Sanfei was in the village of the Fireflies. There, she could set up an alert if someone activated the teleportation. She would be the first to know. However, traveling between villages in this early stage was not too important. My priority is to reach level 10 and then head to the Forgotten Continent, where the real divine game begins. After making her decision, Qin Fenj headed back to the commercial district to sell part of her equipment. Equipment and skills for sale only for 10 minutes. If you want to buy, hurry up. The village was filled with murmurs and excitement. Oh my god, the great master, the shadow, has appeared again. He has finally arrived. I prepared 150 days of exchangeable life. I was just waiting for the Great Master to bring more equipment. The last time, the Great Master sold the Ice Dagger technique, which allowed Rosa Grizz to jump straight to 2nd place in the rankings. I hope this time he has some mage skill books. Wow, are there really skill books? But it's just a silver rank warrior skill book called Crimson Sword. Suddenly, someone from the back of the crowd became excited and rushed forward, eagerly lifting the skill book. I want to buy this Crimson Sword. The notification appeared immediately. Transaction completed. You've received 300 days of exchangeable life. Seeing this, someone from outside murmured in disbelief. 300 days of exchangeable life for just a skill book. Is it worth it? Such a narrow mind. Someone else replied, a warrior with this skill will double their speed in killing monsters. Those 300 days can be recovered in just 2 days. Thus, the objects continued to sell quickly in a fierce competition among the villagers. I want that cloak. Want those boots? That one's mine. In a matter of seconds, all transactions were completed. Qn Fen reviewed the information in the system, evaluating his earnings. In less than a minute, everything was sold. In total, the objects I sold this time amounted to 50 days of exchangeable life. Now I have 274 accumulated days, but it's still not enough. If I want to extract levels, attributes, classes, equipment, and skills from the Divine Abandoned game and bring them into the real world, I'm still far from achieving that. Around him, several players who hadn't been able to buy anything were crying in frustration. I failed the game at 2. Please sell more next time, I beg you, Great Master. Will you be selling here again next time? At that moment, Dalesai ran up excitedly from a distance, shouting, Great Master, I have a treasure, do you want it? Having said this, she took out a ring and showed it to Qnfeng. The item information immediately appeared. Dimensional ring adds 2 storage slots without occupying an equipment slot or backpack space. Upon seeing the ring, Qnfeng was completely astonished and thought to himself, a dimensional ring is a special storage item with immense value, as it doesn't take up space in the backpack or in the equipment slot. Each player can only carry up to 3 storage backpacks, so this type of item is incredibly valuable. Although it can drop from any monster, the drop rate is extremely low. This seer must have had incredible luck to obtain it so early. In my past life, a 2-slot dimensional ring like this would sell for more than 600 days of exchangeable life. After thinking for a moment, Qnfeng cautiously asked, how do you plan to sell it, Dale C? With a sincere smile, Dale Sai replied, I don't want the exchangeable life of the Great Master. I just want to be your friend and have you help us defeat a boss. Upon hearing this, Qnfeng agreed without hesitation and pressed the button to accept the friendship request in the system. Player Dale Sai has accepted your friendship request. From now on, Dale Sai is officially your friend. As Qnfeng walked ahead, he asked curiously, what boss is it? What's its name? Dale Sai, following him, quickly responded, it's just a gold rank boss. Nothing too special. It's quite far, but you can see an abandoned barge in the swamp. It looks in very poor condition. Hearing this, the image of a boss from his past life appeared in Qnfeng's mind. A ruined boat in the swamp? Could it be the gold rank ghost ship? The gold rank ghost ship was a rare and special boss that could appear at any level, but with an extremely low spawn rate. Moreover, it had the ability to drop rare and valuable items that could change the course of a battle whenever a ghost ship of golden rank appeared. Guild wars would break out mercilessly over the fight for its rewards. The fact that the ghost ship of golden rank had spawned in a level 5 village meant that, in this state, it was easier to defeat. To find it so soon in a small village and on top of that, get a rare dimensional ring. And as if that weren't enough, she was part of the Wong Men group. Could it be that she is Hin, the legendary golden carp from my past life? To confirm his theory, Qnfeng looked at Daisy and asked, how did you discover this golden rank boss? Daisy, remembering what had happened, responded, after logging out to have dinner, I wanted to reconnect quickly to level up with the captain and the others, but they took too long to get online. Since I had nothing to do, I decided to explore, and that's when I found the golden rank boss under a cliff. Upon hearing this, Qnfeng became even more convinced of his suspicion and thought to himself, in my past life, I heard rumors about a member of the Wong Men team who looked like a golden carp. Every time they wandered through nature, they would always come across hidden treasures or secret dungeon bosses. At first, I thought it was just a rumor created by the government to cover up confidential information, but it's real. It's definitely her. Seeing that Qnfeng had been silent for a while, Daisy began to look at him curiously and asked, Grandmaster, Why are you staring at me like that? Daisy's words immediately brought him back to reality. Coldly, he replied, it's nothing. At that moment, behind a nearby wall, a man was secretly eavesdropping on their conversation. He hurriedly ran to inform the group leader. Boss, that kid is taking a girl out of the village, he urgently reported. Meanwhile, the group leader, who was in the middle of his speech, said proudly, I remember the days when I led my brothers to conquer supremacy in Sand City. Don't worry, if you follow me, I guarantee you'll have good food and quality clothes. Upon hearing the news from his subordinate, the leader's face took on a cunning expression, and he smiled maliciously. So this kid can't resist anymore and is starting to take girls with him? How right, let's follow him, boys. At the same time, Cunifenge and Daisy had already left the village. Cunifit with a serious tone proposed, I can help you defeat him. If the boss drops any equipment or skill books that you can use, I'll give them to you, but the rest will be mine. What do you think? Daisy, a little surprised, responded, and what about the Wong Men team? She then accepted Cunifen's offer, but with one request. Alright, let's do it your way, but can I ask you for something small? Cunifig intrigued asked, your team has several professions. If assassin equipment drops, then I'd be wasting my time. What do you mean? Daisy, embarrassed, proposed, if you sell the items to BUM and their team, give them a small discount. After hearing her request, Cunifig accepted without hesitation. No problem. Daisy then turned to him and asked, so we'll go after the Captain Wong logs in. By the way, Grandmaster, where are we going now? Cunifig answered coldly, we're heading to hunt a golden rank boss. Upon hearing this, Daisy's face immediately darkened, and she trembled with fear. Grandmaster, you're an assassin, but I'm a mage. You can turn invisible, but how am I supposed to survive? Noticing her concern, Cunifig reassured her, I'm enough. You just need to watch from a safe place. Daisy, completely stunned, could only let out a small sound, her body trembling as she tightly gripped her staff. She thought, a single man hunting a golden rank boss? Even though I know the Grandmaster is very strong, this is too much. While Daisy was still processing what she had just heard, Cunifig suddenly disappeared in front of her. Surprised, she looked around and shouted, Grandmaster, where are you? From behind some nearby trees, the group that had been spying on them up until now saw Cunifig disappear. One of the henchmen exclaimed in surprise, Boss, the guy called the Shadow disappeared. The boss, with a confident expression, laughed loudly. Haha, he tricked her and left her alone in the middle of this wilderness. Let's capture her and have a little fun first. He then added arrogantly, Told if you follow my lead, I guarantee a life of luxury. Look, there she is, right in front of us. Upon hearing this, the group that accompanied him got excited and started praising him. Boss, you're incredibly smart. However, the group had barely taken a few steps when Cunifig's blurry silhouette appeared, blocking their path. At that moment, they still didn't understand what was about to happen, and with faces full of excitement, they observed the scene without worry. But moments later, countless dark shadows emerged around them, enveloping them in a dense black fog. Before they could react, Cunifig activated Shadow Transit and launched a series of consecutive attacks against them. In a matter of seconds, the entire group was annihilated. The system announced, you have eliminated 5 players and obtained a total of 12 days of life. Watching as the bodies of his victims faded into nothing, Cunifig narrowed his eyes and murmured with disdain, Poor fools, killing 2 small monsters would have given me more rewards. After that, Cunifig returned to Daisy. Upon seeing him, she was ecstatic and exclaimed, Grandmaster? Where did you go just now? He responded calmly, there were some people following us. I've already sent them back to the rookie village. Daily, surprised, let out a duo and then, intrigued, continued asking, I thought it was the Grandmaster. Suddenly, as if recalling something important, she exclaimed excitedly, Oh, of course, the Grandmaster. Now that you have the Shadow Stealth ability, it means you can go to the bathroom anytime and anywhere without anyone seeing you. Wait, if you relieve yourself while using Shadow Stealth, does it also become invisible? Without even bothering to respond to her absurd question, he spoke in a serious tone. Take me to see the gold rank chief you mentioned. The system interface transported the girl to an unknown village. Staring at the scepter in her hands, she was completely stunned. As she walked, she examined the weapon carefully and exclaimed, Wow, this is incredible. The nearby villagers whispered among themselves, Another new player has arrived. Seeing the scepter in her hands, the girl smiled excitedly and said, This is amazing. I've obtained the Hidden Life Healer profession. It must be one of the most powerful ones. Immediately, her mind filled with thoughts of Sun Fei. How is Sun Fei doing now? Does he know the secret of how to distribute the initial points correctly? But in the midst of her excitement, she suddenly remembered Tian Feng, and her expression darkened. That idiot Feng. Where has he gone? He spends all day trying to control me, but when it really matters, he's never reliable. She shook her head with disdain and convinced herself that she no longer needed to worry about him. Fine Feng, do whatever you want. Now that I have a hidden profession and Sanwei promised to help me level up, I don't need to care about you at all. A moment later, a player ranking appeared on her screen. Looking at the list, she was stunned. This is a ranking. As her eyes scanned the list, she couldn't help but gasp in surprise. Wow, Shadow is in first place and already level 6. Her shock grew even more when she noticed that Sui was only level 3. How can he brag so much about his strength when he's only level 3? Little by little, her perspective shifted. Shadow is the real leader of this world. With a determined look, she told herself if I can get Shadow to help me, I'll be able to level up much faster than with Sanwei. But then she stopped and thought out loud, where can I find Shadow? At that moment, she noticed a group of young players in the distance. murmuring among themselves. The black-haired boy spoke to the other two with frustration. "Ooh, I can't contact Xiao Fei Feng, we don't have time to wait. Does anyone have any ideas?" The gray-haired boy crossed his arms and replied, "We can't hunt monsters without a healer." The blonde boy nodded and added, "We're not the Shadow to play solo. I'd say we should find a new healer to operate." Upon hearing their conversation, a young woman had an idea. She approached him with a polite smile and said, "Hello, are you looking for a healer? I'm a life healer." Elsewhere in a dark and deep forest between the Kunfeng Mountains, Kunfeng watched intently as a strange ship floated in the middle of the lake. He murmured with determination, "So it really is the Golden Phantom ship." Without hesitation, he jumped straight into the void. But before leaping, he gave instructions to his companion. "Stay here and remain hidden. Be careful not to let anyone attack you by surprise. I'll take care of the boss." The girl quickly nodded and replied with concern, "Understood, Grand Master. Be careful." As soon as Kunfeng landed, the system issued a warning. Due to the influence of the Phantom ship, this area has become a frenzy zone. The life expectancy consumption rate in this area is 100 times higher. Reading this, Kunfeng thought to himself, "The time speed in this zone has multiplied by 100. If I stay here for 15 minutes, I'll lose an entire day of life expectancy." But the impact of this temporary frenzy zone isn't too overwhelming. A moment later, the system continued sending notifications. Phantom ship gold rank, special gold rank category, 45 minutes. A time limit has been activated. Confident, Kunfeng murmured, "This special boss only appears for a limited time. Fortunately, there are still 45 minutes left. If I finish it quickly, I'll have time to spare." Immediately, Kunfeng activated Shadowbreaker's Supreme Strike, hitting the monster instantly and dealing 549 damage. Then he used his ultimate technique, Extreme Poison Needle, combining it with Shadowbreaker's Supreme Strike, fusing both techniques to attack the enemy's weak points, causing 21 damage. As the battle raged on against the gold rank Phantom ship, Kunfeng discovered several difficulties in defeating it. First, most people didn't know its weak point. Some thought it was in the ship's skeleton. Others believed it was in the hull, but the real weakness was in the bow bell. Second, when the bell was attacked, the ship could control the surrounding water and launch area attacks. The damage from these water columns was extremely high. In the early stages, only warriors equipped with silver tier armor could barely withstand it. Fortunately, the assassin class had a high initial speed, allowing them to dodge the attacks. Otherwise, it would have been nearly impossible to evade them. Third, after completing its long-range attack, the ghost ship would summon 2 corrupted water specters onto the battlefield. Each of these specters had the strength of a silver tier boss. At this point, most teams would fall into chaos. Additionally, every 3 minutes, the gold tier ghost ship would summon a new corrupted water specter. If they weren't eliminated in time, they would keep accumulating, eventually leading to teams' total annihilation. However, Tifeng smiled confidently. "I'm always in stealth, so these specters won't be able to find me. I just need to position myself at the right angle, and I can take them out in a single strike." From a distance, witnessing Kunfeng's power, Black Chrome Bolin couldn't help but exclaim in amazement. This is truly the Shadow, the #1 in the rankings. This is too powerful. He appears and disappears like a ghost. The boss has already lost a third of its health and hasn't even had a chance to counterattack. It seemed the battle would end in an instant, but suddenly Kunfeng shouted loudly, "I'm gonna die." Black Chrome Bolin, surprised, asked in alarm, "What did you just say?" However, Kunfeng simply responded calmly, "You don't have to do anything, just wait for me to revive." Black Chrome Bolin, completely confused, cried out in desperation, "Why? The Shadow has the advantage right now. And what the hell is Xiao?" Hearing her reaction, Kunfeng frowned and asked, "You're not Xiao." The indignant girl yelled back, "My name is Black Chrome Bolin, not Xiao, and besides, DLC isn't Xiao either. That sounds like a dog's name." Finding the name too long, Kunfeng simply replied indifferently, "Understood, Xiao." Meanwhile, not far from there, a group of men was fiercely chasing 2 people. Their leader, realizing that the girl had escaped, became furious and roared, "Damn it, we let our guard down. Back in my glory days, I won multiple championships in the Sabak competitions. I was a legend. How is it possible that some brat is making a fool out of me?" Shortly after, one of his subordinates ran up with an urgent report. "Boss, we found the girl. She's at the edge of the cliff, and that shadow bastard is fighting a vase alone at the foot of the precipice." Upon hearing this, the leader of the group flashed a cruel smile and arrogantly commanded, "Let's go. This time I've gathered all our men. I don't believe we can't kill him." As for Kunfeng, after overcoming the 3 previous challenges, he encountered another obstacle that gave him a massive headache. He knew that the 4th and most difficult trial was that the Golden Ghost ship would release a powerful wave of spiritual energy over a vast area, forcing everyone present to become paralyzed in place. "I can't escape now in that case," Kunfeng thought, deciding once again to sacrifice himself along with the creature. The system emitted a series of notifications. "You have died. You have lost 26 years of non-exchangeable life. You've died. You have lost 187 days of exchangeable life." Seeing that Kunfeng had been eliminated, the enemy group's leader burst into laughter and exclaimed, "Ha ha, this is great. That fool. Just because they called him a Grand Master, he got so arrogant that he dared to challenge a gold boss alone." Then, shifting his gaze toward the Golden Ghost ship, he said to his subordinates, "Damn, that Shadow guy was really loaded. That massive light orb must be worth at least hundreds of days of life. Let's go, guys. The boss has only half his life left. This is our chance to kill him. Upon hearing this, the rest of the group erupted in excitement. Ha ha, we can still score a huge haul of life force. He only lost half his life. This big dog deserved it. Today the pup is going to eat the big dog. As they celebrated with enthusiasm, a massive portal suddenly appeared in the sky, surrounding them with an aura of unease and fear. The group was sent back to the village, and everyone, furious, cursed out loud. Damn it! How can that boss be so strong? How did the shadow cut his health in half? This is insane. It's completely illogical. We barely stepped into the swamp, and we were already dead from a water column. Dude, damn it, we've lost too much. Come on, we have to go back. There are still a bunch of small monsters out there. How are we supposed to fight now? I can't believe this is so ridiculously difficult. Meanwhile, inside the dungeon above the swamp's surface, glowing longevity spheres began to appear. Qin Feng, upon seeing them, was very surprised and approached to examine them. After a moment, he asked aloud, confused, Lai, I'm back. Why are there so many longevity spheres here? Lai, standing on a nearby boat, shouted excitedly upon seeing him return, Great Lord, you're back. A moment ago, a group of people came running, but they were all wiped out by the water columns. Hearing that, Qin Feng's eyes gleamed with contemplation. I see, haha, they had no idea what they were getting into. As he recalled his past life, he thought, I struggled a lot with this gold-rank ghost ship back then. It can only use its immobilization ability once, so once its health drops to half, it becomes relatively easy to defeat. However, when its HP reaches 50%, there's a chance it will disappear and reappear in another area, making it difficult for normal players to take it down. Lost in thought, Qin Feng suddenly saw the silhouette of the gold-rank ghost ship reappear in the distance. His eyes turned cold and ruthless. Without hesitation, he activated his toxic fury and unleashed a barrage of projectiles toward the orb on the ship's deck. The flying daggers cut through the air at high speed, striking the sphere directly. Suddenly, a surge of eerie pink energy radiated from the gold-rank ghost ship, enveloping the entire swamp. Qin Feng, as if already anticipating this, remained in a combat-ready stance, his eyes following every movement of the energy flow with full concentration. With a satisfied smirk, he thought, I've already figured out its movement pattern. Seeing the perfect moment, he launched his attack, using Shadow Break's Supreme Strike, relentlessly slashing at the gold-rank ghost ship. Upon witnessing this scene, the rowdy group at the swamp's edge was thrown into total panic. Boss, look at that! That brat is attacking the boss again. Perfect, let's wait for the right moment to take them out. Meanwhile, on the opposite shore, Lazy also noticed the presence of that group. With fury in his eyes, he thought, those idiots again. Damn them, they only come to cause trouble. The Great Lord is about to take down the boss. I can't let those bastards ruin this. With that, he began chanting a spell while channeling energy into his magic staff. Immediately, bolts of lightning crackled from the staff. Then, raising both arms high into the sky, he shouted, Gods, let there be thunder and lightning today. A massive surge of power erupted from the staff, shooting straight toward the enemy group. In an instant, two of them were struck by lightning and completely obliterated. Seeing their teammates vanish before their eyes, the rest were left utterly terrified. They began to look around desperately and shout, Ah, whoever the hell is attacking us? Boss, it's a mage. She's on the other side. At that moment, the boss had already identified Lei, glaring at her furiously. He roared, Bitch, do you want to die? Kill her now. Upon seeing his reaction, Lei was terrified. She gripped her magic staff tightly with both hands and immediately spun on her heels to flee. Behind her, the group chased fiercely, shouting, Stop! We're gonna kill you! Meanwhile, in the distance, two mysterious figures were hiding behind a tree, silently observing. As for Qin Feng, after launching a series of abilities, he had already significantly reduced the boss's health. He observed the weakening resistance of the gold-rank ghost ship and sighed in relief. Finally, it's about to die. No wonder, even though it's just a level C boss, defeating it alone is still quite difficult. My damage is still too low, which has dragged this battle on for too long, attracting others' attention. Even though he was focused on eliminating the boss, Qin Feng never stopped watching his surroundings. He had already noticed the presence of other enemies and thought, there's a group of people up on the cliff. Looks like they're the ones who recently died. Plus, there's another group by the swamp. They seem to be waiting for me to defeat the boss, then kill me and steal the loot. Good plan, but unfortunately they miscalculated. To finish off the boss completely, Qin Feng used his ultimate skill, Shadow Stealth, delivering the final blow. A notification quickly appeared. You have slain the gold-rank ghost ship. You have received 800 experience points. Congratulations, you have reached level 80. Congratulations, you have received 7 evolution points. You have gained 2 16 days of negotiable lifespan. Player Shadow from Seashell Village has become the first on the server to defeat a gold-rank boss and has earned 3 reputation points. This information spread rapidly among all the players in the village, leaving them completely stunned. A gold-rank boss first kill. Is Shadow a demon or what? How can he be this powerful? Which country is he from originally? Seashell Village. The first person to kill a gold-rank boss must undoubtedly be an expert from our South Korea. Not long ago, there was a notification saying Shadow could solo a silver-rank boss, and now he has already killed a gold-rank boss alone. How can there be such a huge difference between one person and another? Meanwhile, Tian Wu, upon hearing the news, felt a bit uneasy. He furrowed his brows, thinking, that guy's Shadow is really impressive. If he could help me level up quickly, I could reunite with Sunfei soon. At the same time, on Qin Feng's side, after the gold-rank ghost ship was defeated, many items began to drop all over the place. However, Qin Feng was no longer there. Seeing this, a guild that had been lying in ambush in the area laughed excitedly. Ha ha! This boss really dropped a ton of valuable items. That guy ran away and didn't pick up anything at all. He must have been scared of us. Aking, use your skill to find him. Kill him. We'll take all the loot from the gold rank boss. Upon receiving the order, the player behind responded immediately. With that, he took a step forward and fired a green energy arrow into the sky. Soon after, the image of a giant hawk with outstretched wings appeared in the air. It was the Phantom Soul Eagle. With its sharp vision, the hawk scanned the area, searching for Qunfeng's position. From within his stealth mode, Qunfeng watched as the hawk's wings sliced through the sky. Gradually, he realized the imminent danger. However, he showed no concern. Instead, he remained confident as he thought, Phantom Soul Eagle. I didn't expect this hunter to have learned a camouflage detection skill so quickly. No wonder he's so sure he can kill me and take the loot. Too bad for him. My dark class has level 11 stealth and level 100 detection resistance. No one can see through my concealment. After a while, with no results, a member of the group returned to report, "Boss, there's no one here. That brat must have run away after seeing us together." Hearing this, the leader smiled in satisfaction. At least he was smart enough to run. Then, with full confidence, he led the way toward the dropped items. Let's collect the loot, guard it, and be ready for battle at any moment. The boss loot protection time is 5 minutes. After that, the items are ours. Hearing this, the other members of the group cheered and burst into laughter as if they had already won. However, their joy didn't last long. Suddenly, countless energy projectiles shot out of nowhere, repeatedly striking their bodies. Qunfeng's blurry figure appeared from behind, and without much effort, the group was quickly wiped out. Tianfeng calmly looked at the items before him and let out a cold snort. This place is much quieter now. Then he suddenly remembered Dai Li and wondered, where did that girl go? Guess I'll look for her later. The remaining evolution points, along with the boss's reward, only allow me to evolve the greedy hand one more time. First, I'll upgrade the skill, then I'll loot the corpses. Having said that, he extended his hand forward to evolve the new skill. A notification echo. Greedy Hand has evolved from Diamond rank to Divine Crystal rank. Assassin Profession skill. Additional loot probability increased from 220% to 300%. The additional loot now has a 100% chance of being upgraded by 1 level. After reading the notification, Qunfeng reflected, a 100% chance to increase a level. This changes everything completely. I'm gonna make all those light spheres explode to the max. After activating the new Greedy Hand skill, he extended his hand and collected all the loot he could. Laughing with joy, he exclaimed, "How? Bring it all in." In the middle of the forest, a great energy was unleashed, and notifications kept ringing. You have used the Greedy Hand skill. You have received 7 evolution points. You have received 7 evolution points. You have received 7 evolution points. You have received 216 days of transferable longevity. You have received 216 days of transferable longevity. You have received 216 days of transferable longevity. You have received the special item Demonic Fire Spirit. You have received the special item Demonic Fire Spirit. While holding the Demonic Fire Spirit in his hand, Qunfeng couldn't hide his excitement and exclaimed enthusiastically, "I can't believe I got 2 Demonic Fire Spirits at once." The information about the Demonic Fire Spirit appeared. Demonic Fire Bell special item. Effect: while carrying it, you won't lose longevity upon death. This effect has a cooldown of 1865 seconds. Soul Absorption's passive: when killing a demonic entity, the probability of gaining longevity increases by 20%. If you carry 2 bells at the same time, the effect doubles. Spiritual Terror activated when shaking the Demonic Fire Bell. All enemies within a 100 radius will be immobilized for 3 seconds. Cooldown 600 seconds. After reading all the information about Demonic Fire Spirit, Qunfeng felt even more excited. He thought to himself, this bell doesn't count as equipment but as a special item. It doesn't take up an equipment slot, and carrying 2 bells only takes 1 slot in my backpack. This is really convenient. While he was completely immersed in thoughts about his new gains, he suddenly heard Dale's terrified voice screaming, "Grandmaster! Grandmaster! Help me! Ah! What are you guys doing? Don't come near me!" Upon hearing that, Qunfeng was startled. His gaze turned serious and concerned as he shouted loudly, "Dale, where are you?" If you enjoyed this video, please support me with a like, a comment, and a share. This helps me tremendously with engagement.